Hi and welcome! As the title of this video suggests, today we are going to discuss appropriation. Now when we hear the word appropriation, we might think of cultural appropriation, a topic that is widely discussed today, which consequently makes us think of appropriation as something negative. However, when speaking of appropriation in a literary sense, it does not have to mean something negative. What appropriation actually means in terms of literature is to borrow a story and/or characters from existing work and put them into another setting with different circumstances. It is not to be confused with plagiarism, which is the act of stealing or copying someone else's work and claiming it to be your own. Appropriation is more often than not an adaptation or retelling of an already well-known story, like myths and classics. Furthermore, appropriation is often aware of the work it is based on and acknowledges this by simply stating it in dialogue or by making it clear in terms of events. So, what are some examples of this phenomena? Well, there's the movie Clueless from 1995, which might not strike us as an adaptation of an Austen novel, but when we look closer we can see that it is clearly a modern appropriation of Jane Austen's Emma, published in 1815. Although the setting has been changed from Regency England to a 90s high school in Los Angeles, USA, the characters all have a respective in Austen's novel, with our lead, Cher Horowitz, as a respective to Emma Woodhouse. They share the same personality with traits of entitlement and cluelessness. The supporting roles also share the same basic personality as the respectives in the novel, although all of these characters are expressing these traits in more modern ways and adapting to their modern circumstances. We also have a newer example of a movie based on a classic, which is Warm Bodies, which came out in 2013. And Warm Bodies is a movie about the zombie apocalypse. At first glimpse, it might not seem like it has anything to do with William Shakespeare, but as the movie goes on, we can clearly see that it is a Romeo and Juliet love story. Our first clue is that our main characters are Julie, a human, and a zombie called R. The two of them fall in love, but their respective families are not accepting of it, as one can imagine, just as in the play. And one can also say that the conflict keeping them apart is not just the families, but more so R's hunger, and the fact that he is constantly battling his urge to literally eat Julie's brains. Appropriation does not only come in the form of film, it can also be a novel appropriating another novel. And there are plenty of examples of this, but one that I'd like to mention is the novel Anna of California, which was published in 2015 by Andy Terran. And it is a modern retelling of Anne of Green Gables, which was published in 1908 by Lucy Maud Montgomery. In this appropriation, our main character is not Anne, but Anna, a Latina teenager who is struggling through the American social service system. So why are appropriations important? Some argue that appropriations and retellings are what makes a work classics in the first place. The stories are adapted to times and situations that we may relate to more today, and consequently acknowledges that the themes and messages of these works are still relevant and worth discussing. Secondly, appropriations also brings these stories to new generations who might not be interested in reading the novels written centuries ago as they cannot relate to them. Well, now they can. So, hopefully now you know a little bit more about appropriation in terms of literature. In this video we have answered the questions and discussed the following. What is appropriation in literature? How does it differ from plagiarism? We have given some examples of appropriation. and we have also discussed why they are important. Thank you so much for watching.